My wife is filing for divorce exactly 2 weeks before our 18th anniversary. She doesn't know 3 things. I've known about her affair since our wedding night. My mother's will requires me to be married on that anniversary to inherit $3.2 million. And tonight, I'm going to tell her everything. But let me back up. Let me tell you how we got here. This morning started like any other Tuesday. I woke up at 5:30 a.m., made coffee in the kitchen of the house I built with my own hands, and stood at the window watching the sun come up over the deck I constructed last summer. Michelle was still asleep. She's been sleeping in later these past few months. I used to wonder why. Now I know she's been texting someone until 2 a.m., someone she's been texting for 18 years. I heard her footsteps on the stairs around 7. Heels. She only wears heels when she's got showings. She's a real estate agent, the kind who drives a leased BMW and wears designer suits I could never afford on a contractor's salary. She walked into the kitchen, poured herself coffee in the travel mug I bought her for Christmas, and set a folder on the counter between us. "Brandon, we need to talk." I kept my hands wrapped around my mug. "Okay." "I'm not happy. I haven't been happy for a long time." She said it like she was listing property features. "I think we both know this marriage has run its course." I took a sip of coffee. It burned going down. "Run its course." "I've drafted the paperwork. It's all very straightforward. Clean split, joint custody of Nathan until he turns 18, which is 3 years away. You can keep the house. I'm moving into a condo downtown." She slid the folder closer. "It just needs your signature." I opened the folder. 23 pages, tabs marking where I should sign. Michelle Hayes, soon to be Michelle Anderson again, had already signed every page. Her real estate training showing she'd organize my erasure like a closing document. "You've thought this through," I said. "I have. And Brandon..." She touched my hand. I didn't pull away. "You're a good man. You deserve someone who can love you the way you need. That's just not me. The way you need. Like I'm the one with unreasonable expectations. Like fidelity on your wedding night is asking too much." "When were you thinking?" I asked. "I'd like to file by the end of the month. That gives us 2 weeks to tell the kids, work out the logistics." She checked her watch. "I have a showing at 9. Can we talk tonight?" "Sure." She picked up her travel mug and her Prada bag, another thing I didn't buy her, and walked to the garage door. She paused. "Brandon, thank you for being understanding about this." The garage door closed. I heard her car start. I sat there with the divorce papers open in front of me, and I started to laugh. Not a happy laugh. The kind of laugh that comes when the universe shows you just how perfectly it can twist the knife. She wants it done before the anniversary. She has no idea why that date matters. If you've ever had to smile through betrayal, if you've ever kept a secret to protect someone else, drop a comment. I understand. You're not alone in this. I didn't go to work that day. I called my foreman, told him I had a family emergency. Not a lie. I sat in my truck in the driveway and stared at the folder. Michelle wanted this done in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today would be June 12th. Our anniversary is June 14th. A text came through on my phone. Richard Blake. "Hey, Brandon! Swinging by around 6 with dinner for everyone. Michelle said you guys had a tough morning. Thought I'd help out." Richard Blake, the family friend. The guy who's been helping out for 18 years. I should tell you about Richard. He showed up in our lives right after we got married. Michelle's colleague in real estate, recently divorced, no kids of his own. He started coming to birthday parties, Thanksgiving dinners. He coached Nathan's Little League team one summer when I was working overtime on a mall renovation. Everyone loves Richard. He's the guy who brings expensive wine and remembers everyone's names. He drives a Tesla. He lives in a penthouse downtown, And every year, without fail, he sends my kids birthday cards with checks that start at $500 and have climbed to $2,500. Uncle Richard's so generous. Lily always said, yeah, generous. I texted back, thanks man, see you at 6. Then I drove. I didn't have a destination. I just needed to move. I ended up at the cemetery where my mom is buried. I haven't been here in a while. Her headstone is simple. Margaret Hayes, beloved mother, 1954-2020. She died 5 years ago, lung cancer. Took her fast, 6 months from diagnosis to funeral. I sat on the grass next to her grave and I said, Mom, you're not going to believe what she's doing. The wind moved through the trees. A bird landed on her headstone. I laughed again, that same bitter sound. You told me to keep the family whole. I kept it whole for 15 years after I found out. 15 years, Mom, and now she's leaving anyway. So what was it all for? My phone buzzed. Lily. Dad, are you okay? Mom said you stayed home sick. I texted back, I'm fine, sweetheart, just needed a mental health day. See you tonight. Lily. My daughter. 18 years old, graduated high school last month, headed to state in August on a partial scholarship I've been supplementing with overtime for 4 years. She looks like Michelle, same dark hair, same sharp cheekbones, but she has my eyes, brown, steady. She's the one who asks questions. She's the one who notices when things don't add up. And Nathan, 15 sophomore year, starting quarterback, he worships me. Every Saturday morning we're in the driveway working on his throwing arm. Every Sunday we're in my workshop building something, birdhouses, shelves, anything that requires measuring twice and cutting once. He's a good kid, loyal, stubborn, like me. These are the people I stayed for. When I found those photos 15 years ago, when I saw the timestamp, when I understood what Michelle had done 3 hours into our marriage, I stayed because of them. Let me tell you how I found out. It wasn't dramatic. It was almost boring in its ordinariness. It was a Saturday afternoon in August 2010. Lily had just turned 3. Michelle was taking her to a birthday party. Nathan was still in diapers, napping upstairs. I was in the attic looking for our old camera, the digital one we'd used at our wedding. Michelle wanted to make a photo album for our 5th anniversary, one of those leather-bound books she'd seen on Pinterest. I was supposed to find the camera, upload the photos, surprise her. The attic smelled like dust and insulation. I found the camera in a box marked Wedding 2005. The battery was dead. I took it downstairs, charged it, turned it on. The memory card still had photos on it. I started scrolling. There we were, young and stupid and smiling. Michelle in her dress, simple, cream-colored, off the rack because we couldn't afford designer. Me in a rental tux that was slightly too big in the shoulders. Our families, the church, the reception at the VFW hall because that's what you do when you're 24 and broke. Then the photos changed. The first one, Michelle in our hotel room. Still in her wedding dress, but the back was unzipped. She was laughing, holding a champagne glass. Someone else was in the frame, just an arm, a man's arm in a gray suit sleeve. I clicked to the next photo. Michelle kissing someone, not me. The angle was wrong. Someone else was holding the camera. The man's face was visible now. I recognized him immediately. Richard Blake, Michelle's colleague, the guy who'd given the toast at our reception, the guy who'd hugged me and said, "You're a lucky man, Brandon." I clicked through 15 more photos, different angles, different poses, Michelle's dress coming off, Richard's tie on the floor, the hotel room bed that I'd booked, that I'd paid for with a credit card I was still paying off 3 years later. I checked the timestamp on the first photo, 11:47 p.m. Our reception ended at midnight. I was downstairs in the lobby, settling the bill with the hotel manager, making sure everything was set for our honeymoon checkout in the morning. The photographer had left at 11. Michelle said she was going upstairs to change out of her dress because her feet hurt. She was supposed to be changing out of her dress. She was, just not alone. I sat on the couch holding that camera. Nathan started crying upstairs. I didn't move. I heard the garage door open, Michelle and Lily coming home. I turned off the camera. I put it in my pocket. I went upstairs and changed Nathan's diaper. At dinner that night, Michelle asked, "Did you find the camera?" "Yeah," I said. "Battery's dead. I'll charge it and upload the photos tomorrow." I never uploaded them. I put the memory card in an envelope, sealed it, and buried it in my toolbox in the garage. I told Michelle I couldn't find the camera. We never made that anniversary album. That was 15 years ago. Lily was 3, Nathan was 1, and I had a choice to make. 2 weeks after I found the photos, my mom called. She'd been having chest pains. Tests showed stage 4 lung cancer, inoperable. 6 months, maybe less. I drove to the hospital every day after work. Michelle stayed home with the kids. She was sympathetic, thoughtful even. She brought meals to my mom's room. She organized a meal train with the church. She held my hand during the bad news appointments. I wanted to hate her. I couldn't. In October, Mom's doctor said it was time for hospice. We moved her to a facility with a view of the river. The trees were changing colors. She loved fall. One afternoon, I was sitting next to her bed. She was on morphine, drifting in and out. Her hand found mine. "Brandon," she whispered, "you staying strong?" "I'm trying, Mom." "Michelle being good to you?" I didn't answer fast enough. Mom's eyes opened. Even drugged, even dying, she could read me like a book. "What did she do?" I'd never told anyone, not my brother, not my friends. But this was my mom, and she was dying, and I was so tired of holding it alone. She cheated on me at our wedding. I found photos. It's been 3 years, and I don't know what to do. Mom's hand tightened on mine. "Those babies, they need you." "I know." "You leave, she gets lawyers. Courts give mothers everything. You'd see them every other weekend." She coughed. The nurse came in, adjusted her medication. When she left, Mom pulled me closer. "You stay. You keep your family whole. You stay. You're there every morning, every night, every scraped knee and bad dream." "Mom, I don't know if I can..." "You can. You're my son. You're stronger than your father ever was." She cupped my face with her thin hand. "Some mistakes have a price tag, baby. Make her pay it when it costs the most. Not now. Not when those babies need you both. But someday. Promise me you'll stay until the time is right." "I promise." "Good boy." She closed her eyes. "Keep the family whole." She died 3 weeks later. I kept my promise. I drove home from the cemetery around 4. Nathan was in the driveway working on his spiral. He saw my truck and jogged over. "Dad, where were you? Coach texted about practice tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure you could drive me." "I can drive you," I said. Come here." He came closer. I pulled him into a hug. He's taller than me now, all arms and legs and teenage awkwardness, but he still hugs like he did when he was little. Full body, no reservation. "You okay, Dad?" "Yeah, buddy. Just had some stuff to think about." "Mom said you guys need to talk to us about something tonight." My stomach dropped. "She did?" "Yeah. She said Uncle Richard's bringing dinner, and then we're having a family meeting." He pulled back, studied my face. "Are you guys getting divorced?" Smart kid. Too smart. "We'll talk about it tonight," I said. His face did something complicated. I knew it. Lily said something was weird. Mom's been different. Different how? I don't know. Happier? She's on her phone all the time. She's been going to showings at like 9 p.m. He made air quotes. "I'm 15, Dad. I'm not stupid." I put my hand on his shoulder. "No, you're not stupid. And I'm sorry you have to think about this stuff." "Is it Uncle Richard?" The question hung in the air between us. I should have lied. I should have protected him, but I was so tired of lying. "We'll talk tonight," I said, Nathan's jaw set. That stubborn look he gets from me. I knew it. I always thought he was weird. He tries too hard. "Hey." I gripped his shoulder. Whatever happens, you and Lily are my priority. Always have been. Always will be. You understand? Yeah. He picked up his football. Can we throw for a bit? We threw for a bit. At 6 p.m., Richard's Tesla pulled into the driveway. He got out carrying bags from that Italian place downtown, the one that charges $30 for pasta. He waved at me through the kitchen window. I waved back. Michelle opened the door for him. They didn't kiss, not in front of the house, not where neighbors could see, but there was something in the way they looked at each other. Familiar, comfortable, the look of two people who've been looking at each other for a very long time. Brandon! Richard walked in like he owned the place. 6'2", salt and pepper hair, expensive watch. Everything about Richard Blake says money. Heard you had a rough day. Thought I'd bring reinforcements. He set the bags on the counter. Fettuccine Alfredo, Caesar salad, tiramisu for dessert, a bottle of wine that probably cost more than my truck payment. Thanks, Richard. You didn't have to do that. Hey, what are friends for? He squeezed my shoulder. We take care of each other, right? Lily came downstairs. Uncle Richard, she hugged him. He'd helped her with her college application essays last year, proofread them, gave her interview tips. She thinks he's wonderful. We sat down to dinner. Michelle served. Richard poured wine. For them, not for me, because I don't drink anymore. Not since I found those photos. Can't trust myself with alcohol and this much rage. The conversation was light. Nathan talked about football. Lily talked about her college roommate assignment, some girl from Oregon named Ashley who seems cool based on her Instagram. Richard told a story about a commercial property deal that fell through. Michelle laughed at all his jokes. I watched them. The way his hand lingered near hers when he passed the salad. The way she leaned toward him when he talked. 18 years of this. 18 years of Tuesday dinners and Sunday brunches and family friend covering for something else. He's been here the whole time. Every birthday, every holiday, every moment. After dinner, Michelle cleared her throat. So, we wanted to talk to you guys about something. Nathan's hand tightened around his fork. Lily went very still. Your father and I have decided to separate. We're filing for divorce. Lily's eyes went to me. Dad? It's true, I said, but why? Nathan's voice cracked. What happened? Michelle's performance was Oscar-worthy. Sometimes people grow apart. It's nobody's fault. We love you both so much, and that won't change. We're just going to be living in different places. When? Lily asked. Your mother wants to file the paperwork by the end of the month, I said. She's moving to a condo downtown. Richard shifted in his seat. I watched him. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. Are you... Nathan looked at Richard, then at Michelle. Is this because of... Nathan, Michelle's voice sharpened. This is between your father and me. But Uncle Richard's here. Why is Uncle Richard here for this conversation? Nathan stood up. How long has this been going on? Buddy, I'm just here for support, Richard said. Your mom asked me to... Don't call me Buddy. Nathan threw his napkin on the table. I'm not stupid. Everyone at school knows what it looks like when someone's mom is cheating. Nathan, Michelle's face flushed. That's enough. Is it true? Lily's voice was small. Mom, is it true? I wanted to let Michelle handle it. I wanted to watch her squirm. But these are my kids, and they deserved better than whatever lie she was about to tell. We'll talk more tomorrow, I said, when it's just the four of us. Richard, I think you should go. Richard stood. Right, of course, I didn't mean to... You should go, I repeated. He left. The tiramisu sat untouched on the counter. Lily went upstairs. Nathan went to his room. Michelle stared at me across the table. You didn't have to do that, she said. Didn't I? I was trying to do this gently. Gently, I laughed. You brought your boyfriend to tell our kids we're getting divorced, and you wanted to do it gently. He's not my... She stopped. This is complicated, Brandon. No, it's really not. I went to the garage. I needed to be somewhere she wasn't. I needed to breathe. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I opened it. A photo of a letter. Official law firm letterhead, Hayes Estate. Subject, scheduled will reading. The text below, Mr. Hayes, this is the office of Patterson and Burke. Your mother's will includes a time-sensitive clause requiring a reading on June 14th of this year. Please confirm your attendance. This is a legal requirement. June 14th, my 18th anniversary. I sat down on my workbench. I read the text 3 times. Then I started laughing again, that same dark, disbelieving laugh. My mother died 5 years ago, and somehow she just gave me the answer. That night, I couldn't sleep. Michelle was in our bed. Soon to be just her bed, I guess. I listened to her breathing. Even peaceful. How do you sleep peacefully when you're dismantling 18 years? Around 2 a.m., I heard it. The soft buzz of her phone on the nightstand. She reached for it in the dark, the screen illuminating her face. I watched through half-closed eyes. She was smiling, typing, the kind of smile I haven't seen her give me in years. She thought I was asleep. I waited until 3, until her breathing went even again. Then I got up, went downstairs, and opened my laptop. We have a shared cloud account. Family photos, tax documents, all the digital debris of a marriage. Michelle doesn't know I still have the password. She changed hers 6 months ago. I watched her do it. But the cloud auto login was still cached on my computer. I started searching. The first thing I found was her text message backup. Automatic upload, something she'd set up years ago and forgotten about. I opened the archive. 18 years of messages, all backed up, all searchable. I typed Richard into the search bar. 16,847 results. I clicked on the oldest conversation, June 2005, the week after our wedding. Richard, still thinking about Saturday night. Michelle, me too. We can't do this again. Richard, I know, but God, you were incredible. Michelle, he suspects nothing. Richard, good. Keep it that way. I'll see you at the office Monday. I scrolled forward. 2006, 2007. They never stopped. There were gaps, weeks, sometimes months, but the thread was always there. Sometimes it was logistics. Can you get away Thursday? Sometimes it was romantic. I miss your hands on me. Sometimes it was cruel. Brandon's working late again. Come over. 2010, the year I found the photos. Michelle, he found the camera. I know he did. He's acting weird. Richard, did he say anything? Michelle, no, but he's different, distant. Richard, if he knew, he'd have left by now. You're paranoid. Michelle, maybe you're right. Richard, I'm always right. Meet me at the Marriott on Thursday. 2015, the year my mother died. Michelle, his mom passed. He's a wreck. Richard, that's rough. You being supportive? Michelle, of course, I'm not a monster. Richard, I know, baby. You're perfect. Michelle, I feel guilty sometimes. Richard, don't. He's getting what he needs from you. Stability, family. We're getting what we need from each other. Everyone wins. Everyone wins. 2020, the pandemic. Michelle, can't see you for a while. Brandon's home 24/7 with the lockdown. Richard, this is killing me. Michelle, me too. But we have to be smart. Richard, when this is over, I want more than stolen hours. Michelle, what are you saying? Richard, I'm saying I want you for real, full time. Leave him. Michelle, the kids. Richard, the kids are almost grown. Lily graduates in 2 years. Then what's your excuse? And then last week. Michelle, I did it. I told him I want a divorce. Richard, holy shit, really? Michelle, I can't do this anymore. Pretending. I want to be with you properly. I want to wake up next to you. Richard, when? Michelle, I'm filing by the end of the month, early June. We'll be free by summer. Richard, I love you. Michelle, I love you too. Finally? The messages went back 18 years. They never stopped. I closed the laptop. I went to the kitchen. I poured a glass of water and stared at the divorce papers still sitting on the counter. 23 pages. Tabs for my signature. I should have been surprised. I wasn't. I'd known for 15 years. But seeing it spelled out, message by message, year by year, it was like watching a time lapse of my marriage rotting from the inside. I opened the laptop again. I needed more. If I was going to do this, if I was going to use that will reading, if I was going to burn her world down, I needed every piece of ammunition I could find. I went back to the cloud, found her browser history, and that's when I saw it, Pinterest. She had 3 boards, one for house staging tips, one for healthy recipes she never made, and one titled R&M 2024. R&M, Richard and Michelle. I clicked on it. The board was set to private. 247 pins, created November 14th, 2017, 7 years ago. Lily had just turned 11. I scrolled. Wedding venues, beach ceremony in Maui, white chairs in the sand, sunset backdrop, pin note for our real wedding, wedding dress, strapless Vera Wang, fitted bodice, cathedral train, $8,000, pin note, worth every penny. Engagement ring, rose gold band, emerald cut diamond, 2.5 carats, pin note, he's going to propose properly this time. Honeymoon destinations, Bora Bora, overwater bungalow, pin note, 2 weeks, no interruptions. Guest list mock-up, I zoomed in, 50 people, Richard's family, Michelle's family, work friends, not one person from my side, and no kids, no Lily, no Nathan. Seating chart, head table, Richard and Michelle, parents on either side. Pin note, keep it intimate. Invitations, cream cardstock, calligraphy font, wording draft. Richard Blake and Michelle Anderson invite you to celebrate their marriage. Michelle Anderson, her maiden name. Like I never existed. Cake design, 4 tiers, white fondant with gold leaf. Pin note, no buttercream, Richard hates buttercream. Reception menu, past hors d'oeuvres, filet mignon and lobster for dinner, champagne tower. Pin note, everything Brandon couldn't afford. There it was, in writing, everything Brandon couldn't afford. Vows board, sample vows pinned from wedding websites. One highlighted, I promise to love you without reservation, the way I should have from the beginning. The way I should have from the beginning. And then I found the notes section. Buried at the bottom of the board, a note to herself, dated March 2024, 3 months ago. Timeline, tell Brandon by May. File by early June. Divorce final by October. Wedding to R in December, before Christmas so we can spend the holidays as husband and wife. Finally, get to stop pretending. Finally, get to be happy. She'd been planning her real wedding for 7 years, down to the flowers. I took screenshots, every pin, every note, every detail of the life she was building with Richard while sleeping in the bed I built for us. I sent the screenshots to my email. Then I cleared the browser history so she wouldn't know I'd found it. I sat in the dark kitchen with my laptop glowing, and I felt something I hadn't let myself feel in 15 years, rage. Not the cold, controlled kind I'd been living with. Hot, clean, purifying rage. She didn't just cheat on our wedding night. She never stopped. She spent 18 years planning her exit. While I was building her dream kitchen, she was pinning photos of someone else's honeymoon. While I was coaching Nathan's Little League, she was choosing wedding cake flavors for a ceremony I wouldn't be invited to. Everything Brandon couldn't afford. I opened a new search window. Time to see what else Richard Blake couldn't resist documenting. The birthday cards were in a shoebox in Lily's closet. I knew because I'd helped her organize her room last month. She keeps everything. Ticket stubs, concert wristbands, cards from people she loves. I pulled the box down at 4 a.m. while everyone was sleeping. 18 years of Uncle Richard's generosity. I laid them out on the garage workbench, oldest to newest. The first card, Lily's first birthday, June 2006. Pastel pink, embossed flowers. Inside, for our princess on her special day, love Uncle Richard. Check attached, $500. Memo line, for our princess. Our princess, not his niece, not the neighbor's kid. Our. Nathan's first birthday, August 2006. Blue card with balloons. Check $500. Memo line, for our little man. By their 5th birthdays, the checks were $750. By their 10th birthdays, she $1,000. Lily's 16th birthday, 2021, cream envelope, expensive cardstock, check $2,000. Plus a note, for your first car fund, every princess deserves her chariot. Nathan's 15th birthday last August, masculine card, leather textured. Check $2,500, plus a gift card to the sporting goods store. Note, champions invest in their craft. And the latest. Lily's 18th birthday, May 2024. Last month, embossed invitation style card. Check $2,500. Plus a separate note on Richard's business letterhead. Congratulations on graduating, Lily. I'd love to help with your car insurance. Consider it an 18th birthday gift from Uncle Richard. Let me know your policy details and I'll set up automatic payments. You'll never have to worry about it. Automatic payments, monthly access, a reason to stay in touch when she goes to college. I took photos of every card, every check, every memo line, the progression from $500 to $2,500, the increasingly familiar handwriting, the way Uncle Richard became just R by year 10. Nobody questions the generous family friend. That's how they get away with it. I organized them chronologically. I wrote down the dates, the amounts, the memo lines. 18 years of generosity that bought him access to my family, to my dinner table, to my kids' trust. Nathan was right. He always tried too hard. I put the cards back in the box, put the box back in Lily's closet. She'd never know I'd taken them, but I had what I needed. The house woke up around 7. I heard Lily's alarm, Michelle's shower, Nathan's feet hitting the floor above me. I was still in the garage, surrounded by evidence, text messages, Pinterest boards, birthday cards, the divorce papers, and that letter from my mother's lawyer, glowing on my phone screen. Will reading June 14th. Required attendance. I Googled Patterson and Burke, legitimate firm, top rated. They'd handled my mother's estate when she died, or I thought they had. There was a distribution, nothing major. She'd left me $15,000, enough to pay off the truck and put some away for the kids' college fund. She'd left my brother Thomas the same, but apparently there was more. A time-sensitive clause. Required reading on my anniversary. Mom, what did you do? My phone rang. Thomas, my older brother, lives 2 states away, works in IT, calls every few weeks to check in. Hey Brandon, you doing okay? Why wouldn't I be? I got a weird call from Mom's lawyers. Something about a will reading next week. They said you got the same call. Yeah, June 14th. Did they tell you what it's about? No, just that there's a clause in the will that activates on specific dates. Mine was my 40th birthday last year. Turned out Mom had left me some stocks I didn't know about. Guess she had something planned for your anniversary too. Anniversary. Thomas didn't know what that word meant to me this week. You going to the reading? He asked. Yeah, I'll be there. Cool. Hey, how's Michelle? The question sat between us. Thomas never liked Michelle. He'd said something at our wedding, something about her being too polished for a guy like me. I'd been offended then. Now I understood. She asked for a divorce yesterday. Silence. Then, shit, Brandon, I'm sorry. It's fine. It's not fine. What happened? She's been having an affair. Long time. I found out years ago. Years ago? And you stayed? Mom asked me to, for the kids. You know how she was about family. More silence. Brandon, that's... Jesus, I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just show up to the will reading. I might need you there. I'll be there. You need anything else? No, I'm good. I wasn't good, but Thomas couldn't fix this. Nobody could but me. If you've ever ignored red flags because you wanted to believe, if you've ever convinced yourself that everything was fine when it wasn't, comment, I miss them if you have. Sometimes we see what we want to see until we can't anymore. Michelle came into the garage around 9. She was dressed for work, perfect hair, perfect makeup, the woman on her Pinterest board rehearsing for a life that didn't include me. You've been out here all night, she said. Couldn't sleep. Brandon, I know this is hard, but we're doing the right thing. I looked at her, really looked at her, tried to see the girl I'd married, the one who'd laughed at my jokes, who'd danced with me in the VFW hall to a DJ who charged $300 for 4 hours, who'd said I do at a church altar and meant it. Or had she? Had she ever meant it? When did you stop loving me? I asked. She blinked. What? Was it before the wedding? After? Did you ever? That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. None of this is fair. I stood up. You're filing by the end of the month. That's 2 weeks. That puts us at June 12th. Yes. I thought that would give us time to... Our anniversary is June 14th. She had the grace to look uncomfortable. I know. I thought it would be better to file before so the anniversary doesn't what? Remind you of promises you broke? Brandon. She stepped closer. I'm trying to be kind about this. I'm giving you the house. I'm not asking for alimony. I'm trying to make this easy. Easy, I laughed. Michelle, do you remember our wedding night? Her face went very still. What? Do you remember what you were doing at 11:47 p.m.? The color drained from her cheeks. Brandon, I need to go. I pushed past her. I have a meeting at the bank. Tell the kids I'll be back for dinner. I left her standing in the garage. I heard her call my name. I didn't turn around. The bank was downtown. Patterson and Burke's office was on the 3rd floor of a building with marble floors and oil paintings of men in suits. Old money, established. The kind of place that handles estates with complicated clauses. The receptionist was expecting me. Mr. Hayes, thank you for confirming your appointment. Mr. Patterson is ready for you. James Patterson was 60, gray at the temples, kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. He shook my hand and gestured to a leather chair across from his desk. Brandon, I'm glad you could make it on short notice. Your mother left very specific instructions regarding this meeting. My brother said something about time-sensitive clauses. Yes. Your mother created a tiered will. The initial distribution happened at the time of her death. You and Thomas each received $15,000, but there was a secondary trust, contingent on certain conditions being met. What conditions? He opened a file. For Thomas, the condition was reaching his 40th birthday. For you, the condition is more specific. You must be legally married on June 14th of this year, your 18th wedding anniversary. The room tilted. I'm sorry, what? If you are legally married to Michelle Hayes, née Anderson, on June 14th, 2024, you inherit the remainder of your mother's estate, a substantial remainder. If you are divorced or separated on that date, the funds transfer to a charitable trust your mother designated. How substantial? He slid a paper across the desk. I looked at the number. $3,200,000, $3.2 million. Where did this come from? My voice sounded far away. Your mother was an excellent investor, conservative, long-term strategies. She built this over 40 years. The bulk of it came from your father's life insurance policy. She never touched the principal, just let it grow. She wanted to ensure her sons were provided for, but she also wanted to incentivize stability. Stability. In her words, he pulled out a document, read from it. Brandon needs to know that loyalty has value, that keeping his word, honoring his commitments, and protecting his family are worth something tangible. If he's still married on his 18th anniversary, he's proven he's the man I raised him to be. He gets everything. If not, he's made his choice, and the money goes where it can do more good. I sat back. The leather chair creaked. She wrote this 5 years ago? The will was executed 6 weeks before her death. Yes. So if I get divorced before June 14th, you receive nothing. The charitable trust receives the full amount. And if I'm still married, you receive $3.2 million tax-free inheritance, yours to do with as you please. I started laughing. I couldn't help it. James Patterson looked concerned. Mr. Hayes, are you all right? My wife asked for a divorce yesterday. She wants to file by the end of the month, June 12th, 2 days before our anniversary. Understanding dawned on his face. I see. Did my mother know about the affair? He adjusted his glasses. Your mother and I had many conversations during the estate planning process. She never disclosed specifics, but she expressed concern about your marriage. She said, and I quote, if Brandon's still married in 5 years, he's either happy or he's the most loyal man I ever raised. Either way, he deserves this. She knew. She had to have known. There's something else, Patterson said. He pulled an envelope from the file. My name on the front, my mother's handwriting. She left this for you, to be opened only after this conversation. I took the envelope. It was sealed with wax, red wax, my mother's favorite color. Thank you, Mr. Patterson. The reading is scheduled for June 14th at 10 a.m. Attendance is mandatory for distribution. Will you be there? I'll be there. And your wife? I stood up. I don't know yet, but I'll be there. I sat in my truck in the parking garage. The envelope sat on the passenger seat. My mother's handwriting, instructions. Don't open until after you've spoken with Mr. Patterson. Well, I'd spoken with Mr. Patterson. I broke the wax seal. Inside were 3 things: a letter, a smaller envelope marked, for Lily when she's old enough, and a Polaroid photo of my father. I hadn't seen this photo in years, Dad at 30, before he left, standing in our old driveway, holding a beer, squinting into the sun. On the back, Mom had written, he left when you were 7. You stayed for 18 years. That's how I know you'll be okay. I unfolded the letter, 3 pages. Her handwriting shaky at first, morphine making her hand unsteady, but stronger by the second page. Brandon, if you're reading this, it's time to stop protecting everyone else. I found your camera in the attic when I was looking for Lily's baby clothes. Christmas 2009. You'd hidden it behind the boxes of ornaments. I was curious why my son would hide a camera, so I turned it on. I saw the photos, I saw the date, I saw who she was with. I never told you I knew. I couldn't. You just found out yourself. I could see it in your eyes that winter. The way you looked at her, the way you held those babies a little tighter. You were breaking and you thought you were hiding it, but mothers see everything. I almost confronted her, almost threw her out of your house myself, but then I watched you with Lily, the way you read to her every night, the way you built that playhouse in the backyard because she said she wanted a castle. You weren't staying for Michelle, you were staying for them. So I asked you to stay at the hospital. I made it about me, about keeping the family whole, because I knew you'd stay if you thought it was my dying wish. And it was. But not for the reason you thought. I wanted you to stay so you'd never have to wonder. So when the time came, and I knew it would, you could leave knowing you'd done everything right. You'd given her 18 years. You'd raised those babies with both parents in the house. You'd been the kind of man your father never was. Your father left when things got hard, walked out on a 7-year-old boy and never looked back. But you're the man I raised. You stay, you fight, you protect what matters. But here's what I learned, son. There's a difference between strength and sacrifice. You can be strong without bleeding for people who handed you the knife. At some point, you have to stop absorbing damage and start dealing it back. The will is my gift to you. Timing. She wants to leave? Make her do it on the day it costs the most. Make her see what 18 years of loyalty was worth. Make her choose between her comfort and your peace. And when she chooses, because she will choose, and I think we both know what she'll choose, you'll know exactly who she is. $3.2 million. That's what I'm leaving you. But only if you're still married on June 14th. If you've already divorced her, the money goes to charity. That's intentional. I'm not rewarding you for enduring pain. I'm rewarding you for being smart about when to end it. If she hasn't left yet, wait. Wait until the day it costs her everything to watch you walk away with everything. Wait until she realizes that 18 years of betrayal earned her nothing but an empty bank account and a guilty conscience. And if she has left, if she's already gone and you're reading this as a divorced man, the money goes to cancer research, and I want you to know I'm still proud of you. You're free. That's worth more than money. I found the photos in your toolbox. I took them. They're in my safety deposit box at First National. Box 347, the key is taped to the back of your father's photo, the one I'm including in this envelope. Take them, use them, show the world what she is, or don't. That's your choice now. Not mine, not hers, yours. Forgive me for asking you to stay. Forgive me for making you promise. But know that I did it because I believed in you. Because I knew you were strong enough to survive it. And because I wanted you to be able to look your kids in the eyes someday and tell them you did everything right. She never deserved you. Those babies did, and now they're grown. Your obligation is over. Be free, Brandon, but be smart about it. Make her see what she's losing. Make it hurt the way she hurt you. I love you. You were always enough. Mom P.S. The envelope marked for Lily is a letter explaining everything. When she's old enough, when you think she can handle knowing her grandmother knew, give it to her. She's going to need to know that sometimes the people who love us most protect us in strange ways, and that staying isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's the bravest thing we can do. I read the letter 3 times. Then I flipped over my father's photo. There, taped to the back, a small brass key. First National Bank, box 347. Mom's letter started. Brandon, if you're reading this, it's time to stop protecting everyone else. I drove to First National. The bank manager remembered my mother. Everyone did. I showed him the key, the death certificate, my ID. He walked me to the vault. Box 347 was small. I opened it alone in a private room. Inside, a sealed manila envelope. My name written on it in my mother's handwriting, and a note stuck to the front. Dated and time-stamped. Legal evidence. Use wisely. I opened the envelope. The photos were there, all of them, printed on photo paper 8x10 glossy. Michelle and Richard. The hotel room. The timestamp visible in every corner. 11:47 p.m. June 11th, 2005. But there was something else. A flash drive and a handwritten inventory. Contents of drive. Original digital files from camera. Metadata intact. Bank statements showing hotel room charge to Brandon's credit card. Hotel registration showing both rooms booked under Brandon Hayes. Photos of wedding guest lists showing Richard Blake in attendance. Copy of wedding reception timeline showing Michelle's absence from 11:30, 12:15 p.m. Timestamp analysis from forensic expert, paid for, notarized. Compilation file ready for legal presentation. My mother hadn't just kept the photos. She'd built a case. She wrote, "Make her choose on the day it costs the most." I sat in the bank's private room with the photos spread in front of me. The same photos I'd found 15 years ago, but now they weren't just evidence of betrayal. They were evidence of fraud, of adultery from day one, of 18 years built on a lie so fundamental it poisoned everything that came after. In divorce court, this changes everything. But more than that, in the court of public opinion, in the eyes of our families, in the memories our kids would carry forever, this was the truth. Irrefutable, time-stamped, professional analysis attached. Mom knew what she was doing. I put everything back in the envelope. I closed the box. I drove home. It was 4 p.m. when I pulled into the driveway. Lily's car was there. Nathan's bike was on the lawn. Michelle's BMW was gone, showing houses probably, or meeting Richard. I went inside. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Dad? Lily's voice from upstairs. I climbed the stairs. She was in her room, sitting on her bed, holding something. Michelle's divorce papers, the folder I'd left on the kitchen counter. Lily, I found these in Mom's purse. Her voice shook. She already signed them, Dad. All 23 pages. There are tabs. She organized it. She held up the folder. Michelle's real estate precision on display. Colored tabs. Highlighted signature lines. Post-it notes with instructions. When did she sign these? Lily asked. I don't know, sweetheart. There's a date at the top, May 20th. That was 3 weeks ago, Dad. She signed divorce papers 3 weeks ago and just told us yesterday. I sat down next to her. I know this is hard. Did she ever love us, or were we just... Her voice cracked. Were we just something she had to get through until she could leave? Hey, I took her hands. She loves you. Both of you. Whatever else is true, that's true. How do you know? Because I watch her with you, and I see something real. It's the only thing about her I still trust. Lily looked at the papers. There's a post-it note on the first page. It says, have B signed before June 14th. She looked at me. That's your anniversary. Why before the anniversary? This was the moment. I could lie. I could protect her. Or I could tell her the truth. There's a will reading that day. Your grandmother's will. There's money involved. Your mother doesn't know about it. How much money? A lot. Understanding dawned on her face. Lily's smart. Always has been. She's trying to divorce you before you inherit. I don't think she knows about the will, but yes, the timing is unfortunate for her. Dad. Lily's hands tightened on mine. Did Mom cheat on you? The question I'd been dreading for 15 years. Yes. With Uncle Richard? Yes. For how long? I could have lied. I should have lied, but she was 18. She was going to college. She deserved to know the world wasn't always safe or fair or kind. Since our wedding night, Lily made a sound like all the air had been punched out of her. Your wedding night? I found out 3 years later. Your grandmother asked me to stay. For you and Nathan, I stayed. You've known for 15 years? Yes. And you just... What? Smiled through it? Pretended everything was fine? I loved being your dad more than I hated the lie. Tears rolled down her face. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Maybe, but it's true. You and Nathan, you're the best thing I've ever done. And if I'd left when you were 3 and Nathan was 1, I'd have lost you. Custody courts don't favor fathers, Lily, especially not working-class contractors who can barely afford a lawyer. I'd have been every other weekend dad. I'd have missed your first day of school, your first dance recital, Nathan's first touchdown every morning, every night, every moment that mattered. So you sacrificed your happiness for us? No. You were my happiness. The marriage was the sacrifice. She sobbed. I pulled her against my chest and let her cry. My daughter, almost grown, about to learn that her mother wasn't the hero she thought she was. She asked me if I still loved her mother. I said quietly, and Lily, I need you to know something. I love the woman I thought she was, and I love being your dad more than I hated the lie. Both things are true. She pulled back, looked at me with red eyes. What are you going to do? I'm going to that will reading. I'm going to find out what your grandmother left me, and then I'm going to make some choices. Are you going to sign the divorce papers? Not before June 14th. Good. She wiped her eyes. Don't give her what she wants, not after what she did. Lily, no, Dad. I'm serious. She doesn't get to do this. She doesn't get to cheat for 18 years and then waltz away with half of everything like she earned it. Your mom knew something. That's why she set up the will that way, right? Smart kid. Too smart. I think so, yeah. Then make her wait. Make her see what she's losing. She handed me the divorce papers. I took them, felt their weight. Thanks for telling me the truth, Lily said, even though it hurts. Truth always hurts a little, but it's better than living in a pretty lie. She hugged me, tight, the way she used to when she was little and I'd pick her up from school. I love you, Dad. I love you too, sweetheart. That night, I went to the garage, my workshop, my sanctuary, the place I go when the house gets too small for all the things I'm not saying. I spread everything out on the workbench, the divorce papers, the photos from the bank, my mother's letter, the flash drive with all the evidence, 18 years of evidence, all leading to this moment. I picked up our wedding photo, framed, glass cracked from when I'd thrown it 5 years ago and then carefully glued it back together because I didn't want the kids to ask questions. We looked so young. Michelle in that cream dress, me in that slightly too big tux, smiling, believing. The photo was taken at 11:15 p.m., 32 minutes before she went upstairs with Richard Blake. I'd been thanking guests, shaking hands, accepting congratulations, promising the bartender I'd settle the tab in the morning, being a good host, being a good husband, while my wife was upstairs with another man. I taught Nathan to ride a bike the day I saw those photos again, I said out loud to the empty garage. Summer of 2010. He was 4, kept falling, kept getting back up. And I stood there holding the camera Michelle wanted for our anniversary album, and I smiled, and I cheered, and I didn't tell anyone that my marriage was a lie from minute 1. I smiled in every Christmas card. I built her dream kitchen. I fixed her car. I held her hair when she had the flu. I sat in parent-teacher conferences. I coached Little League. I showed up to every single thing that mattered. And she was planning to leave the whole time. My voice echoed in the garage. The wedding photo stared back at me. That stupid, naive kid who thought love was enough. I set the photo down, picked up my mother's letter. You were right, Mom. You were right about all of it. She never deserved me. But those babies did. I read the letter one more time, the last lines. Be free, Brandon, but be smart about it. Make her see what she's losing. Make it hurt the way she hurt you. I looked at the calendar on the wall. Today was June 2nd. The anniversary was June 14th. 12 days. Michelle wanted to file by June 12th, 2 days before. I picked up my phone, texted James Patterson, I'll be at the reading on the 14th. Don't tell anyone about the inheritance, especially not my wife. He texted back immediately. Understood. See you then. I gathered everything, the photos, the flash drive, the letters. I put them in a locked toolbox, hid the key. Tomorrow was the anniversary, and I was done being silent. June 14th, our 18th anniversary. I woke up at dawn. Michelle was already awake, sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at her phone. She didn't notice me watching her. She was texting someone. Her thumbs moved fast. She smiled. Then she looked at the divorce papers on her nightstand, still unsigned by me, and the smile faded. Morning, I said. She jumped. God, Brandon, you scared me. Sorry. I sat up. Big day. What? It's our anniversary. Her face did something complicated. Guilt, maybe, or annoyance that I'd mentioned it. Right, I forgot. Did you? She stood up, started getting dressed, business suit, navy blue, the one she wears when she wants to look authoritative. I have showings all morning, but Brandon, we need to talk about the papers. You still haven't signed. I know. It's been 2 weeks. We agreed. You agreed. I said we'd talk. She turned to face me. What is there to talk about? We're done. We both know it. Just sign the papers so we can move on. Move on to what? Brandon, don't do this. Do what? Ask questions? Want to understand why my wife of 18 years is in such a hurry to divorce me 2 days before our anniversary? It's not about the anniversary. Isn't it? You filed these papers on May 20th. You wanted me to sign them by June 12th. That's very specific timing, Michelle. She grabbed her purse. I have to go. We'll talk tonight. Actually, I have an appointment this morning at 10. I'll need you to come with me. I have showings. Cancel them. Something in my voice made her stop. What appointment? My mother's lawyer. There's a will reading. Today. Required attendance. Your mother died 5 years ago. Why would there be a will reading now? Apparently, there's a time-sensitive clause. I need you there. Lawyer's orders. Brandon, I really don't have time. Make time. 10 a.m. Patterson and Burke, 3rd floor. I'll drive. I got up, went to the shower, left her standing there with her phone in one hand and her purse in the other. She said, just sign it, Brandon. Set us both free. I turned on the water, let it run hot. When I came out, she was gone. Patterson and Burke's office looked different today, more formal. The receptionist led us to a conference room instead of Patterson's private office. Mahogany table, leather chairs, windows overlooking downtown. Michelle checked her phone. How long is this going to take? As long as it takes. She looked at me. Really looked at me. You're being weird. What's going on? We're about to find out. The door opened. James Patterson entered. Behind him, my brother Thomas, who'd driven in last night. And behind Thomas, Richard Blake. Michelle's face went white. Richard, what are you... Ms. Anderson invited me, Richard said. He wouldn't meet my eyes. She said she might need support. Ms. Anderson, Patterson said carefully, this is a family matter. I'm not sure it's appropriate. He stays, Michelle said. He's family. Thomas looked at me. I nodded slightly. Let it play out. Very well. Patterson opened his briefcase. We're here for the reading of Margaret Hayes's will, specifically Clause 7B, which contains conditions that activate today, June 14th, 2024. Michelle shifted in her seat. What kind of conditions? Patterson pulled out the will. The pages looked official, heavy, important. He adjusted his glasses and began to read in that flat, lawyer voice that turns lives into documents. Clause 7B, should Brandon Hayes remain legally married to his spouse on the 18th anniversary of his wedding date, specifically June 14th, 2024, he shall inherit the full estate valued at $3.2 million, held in trust and managed by this firm for the past 5 years. Distribution to occur immediately upon confirmation of marital status. Should divorce proceedings be initiated or finalized prior to this date, the estate transfers in full to the American Cancer Society per the decedent's explicit instructions. The room went silent. Michelle's hand went to her purse, to the divorce papers inside. Her face drained of color, starting from her forehead and draining down like someone had opened a valve. $3.2 million, Thomas said. He was looking at me. Brandon, did you know? I found out 2 weeks ago. Richard leaned forward. Wait, you're saying Brandon gets $3 million if he's still married today? $3.2 million, Patterson corrected. Tax-free inheritance. Michelle looked at me, then at the divorce papers in her purse, then back at me. You knew! When I gave you those papers, you knew. I did. And you didn't tell me? Why would I? You made your choice. Mr. Hayes, Patterson said, I need to confirm your current marital status. Are you legally married to Michelle Hayes, formerly Anderson, as of today's date? I am. No divorce has been filed. Very well, the inheritance is yours. He slid papers across the table. Sign here, here, and here. I picked up the pen. Michelle's hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. Brandon, wait, we need to talk about this. Now you want to talk? $3 million. That changes things. That changes everything. Does it? I pulled my wrist free. 2 hours ago, you told me to sign divorce papers and set us both free. What changed? I didn't know. You didn't know I was about to inherit money. Right. If I'd been broke, you'd have left. But now there's money, so you want to reconsider. Richard stood up. Maybe we should give you two some privacy. Sit down, Richard. My voice came out harder than I intended. He sat. I looked at Patterson. Before I sign these papers, I have something to show everyone in this room. Brandon, what are you doing? Michelle's voice shook. I pulled the manila envelope from my bag, the one from my mother's safety deposit box. My mother left me more than money. She left me the truth. I opened the envelope, pulled out the photos, the hotel room, the timestamp, Michelle and Richard. I slid them across the mahogany table. They made a whisper sound, like secrets finally allowed to speak. Michelle went rigid. Richard froze, one hand on the conference room table. Thomas leaned closer. Patterson adjusted his glasses. These are time-stamped, I said. My voice was steady, clinical, like I was presenting evidence in court. June 11th, 2005, our wedding night. The first photo is time-stamped 11:47 p.m. Our reception ended at midnight. The hotel manager confirmed I was settling the bill in the lobby from 11:30 to 11:50. Michelle said she was going upstairs to change out of her wedding dress because her feet hurt. I pointed to the next photo. She was changing out of her dress, just not alone. That's Richard Blake, I continued, in our honeymoon suite. The suite I paid for on a credit card I was still paying off 3 years later. The same Richard Blake who gave a toast at our wedding, who hugged me and said, "You're a lucky man, Brandon." Michelle's face was frozen in horror. Brandon, please. The timestamp on this photo, 11:47 p.m. This one, 11:52. This one, 12:04 a.m. Our marriage was 3 hours old, 3 hours, and you were already breaking the only promise that mattered. Thomas let out a low whistle. Jesus Christ. Richard tried to stand. I looked at him. Sit down. He sat. My mother found these photos in my toolbox 15 years ago, I said. She never told me she knew, but she kept them. She had them analyzed by a forensic expert. She documented everything: hotel records, credit card statements, guest lists showing Richard was at the wedding, reception timeline showing Michelle's absence from 11:30 to 12:15. It's all here. I pulled out the flash drive, set it on the table. Everything's on this drive. Legal, admissible, time-stamped, verified. Patterson picked up one of the photos, studied it. Mr. Hayes, these are legitimate. Call the hotel. Call the forensic expert. It's all documented. Michelle's voice was barely a whisper. Why are you doing this? Because you asked me to set us both free. So I am. I'm setting us free from the lie. Brandon, it was one mistake, one night. Don't. I pulled out my phone, opened the cloud backup. I found your text messages, all of them. 18 years of messages with Richard. You never stopped. You've been planning this divorce for years. You have a Pinterest board, Michelle. Wedding venues, dress, rings, for you and Richard. You created it 7 years ago. Richard's face went pale. Michelle, you told me... Shut up, she hissed. She told you what? I asked. That I didn't know? That I was stupid? That you'd be together as soon as the divorce was final? Richard stood up. I need to leave. You do that, I said. Run, like you always do. He looked at Michelle. She looked at him. Something passed between them. 18 years of stolen moments and secret promises and plans that were crumbling in real time. Richard, wait, Michelle started. He was already at the door. I'm sorry, Michelle, I can't do this. Can't do what? This, whatever this is. You said he didn't know. You said it would be clean. It will be clean. We just need to... There's no money now. You understand that? If you divorce him today, he gets nothing, which means you get nothing, and I'm not... He stopped, looked at me, at the photos on the table, at Michelle's desperate face. I'm not signing up for broken messy. Michelle stood. Are you serious? After 18 years, you're leaving because of money? I'm leaving because this is insane. You lied. You said he was clueless. You said he'd sign the papers without a fight. You said we'd be in Maui by July. None of that's happening now. So you're just going to walk away? Yeah, I am. He opened the door. Good luck with all this. He left. The door closed. Michelle stared at it like she couldn't believe what had just happened. 18 years, I said quietly, and he left you in a lawyer's office, didn't even hesitate. She sank into her chair. Brandon, please, we can work this out. The money's not yours. We're married. Community property. Inheritance isn't community property in this state. You know that. You sell real estate. You read contracts. Patterson cleared his throat. Mr. Hayes is correct. Inherited funds are separate property. Mrs. Hayes has no legal claim. But the house is in my name only, I said. Remember, you wanted it that way for your business accounting. Clean separation between business assets and personal assets. Her face crumpled. You planned this. You and your mother. You set me up. No, my mother gave me a choice. She made it so that if you left me, I'd be okay. And if I left you, I'd still be okay. She gave me power, the power to choose my own ending. So, what now? I picked up the pen, signed the inheritance papers, slid them to Patterson. Now I take what's mine and you take what you earned. Which is what? Nothing. I stood up. You get nothing, Michelle. No money, no house, no Richard, no reputation, because everyone's gonna know. Your parents, my parents' friends, the neighbors, the kids' schools. Everyone's gonna know that you started cheating on our wedding night and never stopped. You wouldn't. I don't have to. You already told Nathan something was going on. Lily found the divorce papers. They're not stupid. They're going to ask questions, and I'm going to tell them the truth. You'd turn my children against me. They're our children, and I'm not turning them against anyone. I'm just going to stop lying for you. Thomas stood. Brandon, you ready to go? Yeah. I looked at Michelle one more time. The divorce papers are on the kitchen counter. Sign them. Don't sign them. I don't care anymore. You want out? You're out. But you're leaving with exactly what you brought to this marriage. Nothing. I walked to the door. Patterson called after me. Mr. Hayes, I'll have the funds transferred to your account by end of business day. Thank you. I left Michelle sitting in that conference room. I didn't look back. If you believe people show their true colors when the stakes get high, if you've ever watched someone choose money over loyalty, comment true colors. That's what accountability looks like. That's what happens when the bill comes due. The news spread fast. Turns out Michelle's parents had been at the lawyer's office on another matter. They heard. They called Michelle's sister. Michelle's sister called everyone she knew. By that afternoon, my phone was ringing. Friends, family, people I hadn't talked to in years. Thomas fielded most of them. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, from the wedding night. Yeah, 18 years. No, Brandon's okay. He's better than okay. Nathan came home from football practice around 6, walked into the kitchen where I was making dinner. Spaghetti, nothing fancy, just something to keep my hands busy. Dad, everyone's talking. I know. Is it true? About Mom? About the wedding? Yes. He set his backpack down, walked over, hugged me, full body, the way he did when he was little. I'm sorry, Dad. Don't be sorry. This isn't your fault. Where is she? I don't know. Hotel, maybe. Richard's place. Is she coming back? To get her things, yeah. To live here, no. Good. He pulled back. I don't want her here. Not after what she did. Nathan, no, Dad, she cheated on you for my entire life. She lied to everyone. She made you look stupid. And you're not stupid. You're the best person I know. My throat tightened. Thanks, buddy. I mean it. You stayed for us. Everyone's saying that. You stayed because of me and Lily. You and Lily were worth staying for. He wiped his eyes, 15 years old and trying not to cry. I'm never going to be like her. I'm going to be like you. You're already like me. Strong, loyal, stubborn as hell. He laughed, shaky. Can I call Lily? She's freaking out. Yeah, call your sister. He went upstairs. I heard his voice, muffled through the ceiling. Heard him say, Dad's okay. Yeah, he's making spaghetti. You know Dad, he cooks when he's processing. I smiled. Kid knows me too well. Michelle's parents showed up the next day. Her father, Carl, stood on my porch looking 10 years older than the last time I'd seen him. Brandon, can we talk? I let them in. Her mother, Diane, wouldn't look at me. We heard, Carl said, about the will, about the photos, about everything. Okay? Is it true, the wedding night? Yes. Diane made a sound, covered her mouth. I thought she was better than this. I raised her better than this. It's not your fault, I said. 18 years, Carl said. You knew for 18 years and you stayed. Why? The kids. My mother asked me to. I didn't want to be every other weekend dad. And now Michelle has nothing. She made her choices. I made mine. Carl nodded slowly. She called us last night, crying, saying you set her up, saying your mother manipulated you. What do you think? He was quiet for a long moment. I think you're a better man than I would have been. I think my daughter is very lucky you didn't expose this 15 years ago. And I think she's getting exactly what she deserves. Diane started crying. I'm so sorry, Brandon, for what she did, for what you went through. It's not your fault, I said again. But the kids, Lily and Nathan, they're going to hate her. They don't hate her. They're hurt. There's a difference. Will you tell them... She stopped, started again. Will you tell them we didn't know? That if we'd known, we'd have... I'll tell them. They left. I watched them drive away in their Buick, married 45 years. They'd probably go home and look at their own wedding photos and wonder how something that starts with promises ends like this. Richard's wife showed up 2 days later, Karen Blake. I'd never met her, didn't know she existed until she knocked on my door at 7 a.m. with a file folder and coffee in a travel mug. Brandon Hayes? That's me. I'm Karen Blake, Richard's wife of 23 years. I think we should compare notes. I invited her in. She spread out her own evidence on my kitchen table. Bank statements, hotel receipts, credit card bills, 18 years of Richard's business trips and work dinners. I knew, she said, I've known for years. But I had kids in school. I had a life. I couldn't afford to leave. And now? Now my kids are grown. My youngest graduated college last month. And I'm done being quiet. She looked at me. Your wife isn't the only one he was seeing. There were others? At least 3 that I can document. Michelle was just the longest running, the most serious. Jesus. I'm filing for divorce. I'm taking half of everything, his pension, his properties, his investment accounts, and I'm making sure everyone knows why. She slid a card across the table. That's my lawyer. If you need a reference, call her. She's going to destroy him. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know you're not alone. Because Michelle was never getting her fairy tale ending. Richard was never going to be faithful to her either. And because... She paused. Because I've been where you are. And I wish someone had told me the truth 15 years ago. Maybe I'd have been brave enough to leave then too. She stood. Good luck, Brandon. Enjoy your mother's money. Sounds like she was a smart woman. She was. Karen Blake left. I sat at my kitchen table with her business card and her evidence, and I thought, 18 years. Michelle waited 18 years for a man who was cheating on his wife with multiple women, who left her the second things got difficult, who never intended to marry her at all. By that evening, everyone knew. The woman who had everything lost it all in one day. 6 months later, Lily's car was packed. Boxes, bags, her entire childhood condensed into a Honda Civic. She stood in the driveway, looking at the house. Weird to think I won't live here anymore. You'll be back for Thanksgiving, I said. I know, but it won't be the same. Nathan leaned against my truck. Better. No mom drama, just us. Lily elbowed him. Don't be mean. I'm not being mean, I'm being honest. Michelle had moved to a one-bedroom apartment across town. The kids saw her twice a month. Dinner, strained conversation. She'd tried to explain, tried to apologize. The kids listened politely and left. She's my mom, Lily had said after one of those dinners. I love her, but I don't know if I'll ever understand her. Now Lily opened her car door, paused. Dad, can I have Grandma's letter? The one she left for me? I'd been carrying it in my pocket for months, waiting for the right moment. You sure you're ready? Yeah, I want to know what she wanted to tell me. I handed her the envelope. She opened it, read it, standing in the driveway while Nathan and I pretended not to watch. Her face changed as she read. Tears, then a smile, then something like understanding. She knew, Lily said. She knew everything. Yeah. She says, Lily's voice caught, she says sometimes staying isn't weakness. Sometimes it's the bravest thing we can do, and that you stayed because you loved us more than you hated the lie. That's true. She folded the letter carefully, put it in her pocket. She also says I should forgive Mom eventually, not for Mom's sake, for mine, so I don't carry the anger forever. Your grandma was wise. Yeah. She hugged me, tight. Thanks for showing me what real love looks like, Dad. Not the fairy tale kind, the kind that stays. That's all I ever wanted to do. She got in her car, started the engine, rolled down the window. I'll call you when I get there. Drive safe. I watched her drive away. Nathan stood next to me. She's going to be okay, he said. Yeah, she is. What about you? I looked at him, my son, almost 16, tall, strong, becoming the man I raised him to be. I'm already okay, I said. 1 year later, Nathan and I were in the workshop, building a bookshelf for his room, measuring twice, cutting once. Hand me that level, I said. He passed it over. You think Grandma knew this would happen? All of it? I think she knew I'd survive it. That's what love does. It gives you tools, not answers. That's deep, Dad. Your grandma was deep. We worked in silence for a while. The saw, the hammer, the rhythm of building something solid from raw materials. Nathan stepped back to admire our work. Looks good. It does. On the wall above us, my mother's photo watched, framed, smiling. Next to it, a new frame. Lily's graduation photo, Nathan's team photo, the family I'd fought for, the envelope from the bank, the one that had held those photos for 18 years, sat in the fireplace. Ashes, now. Burned last month on what would have been my 19th anniversary. I didn't need them anymore. Dad? Nathan was looking at the photos on the wall. You ever regret it? Staying? No, not once. Even though she was cheating the whole time? I didn't stay for her. I stayed for you and Lily, and I'd do it again. That's the most dad thing you've ever said. I laughed. Hand me that sandpaper. We finished the bookshelf as the sun set outside the workshop window. The tools felt good in my hands. The wood smelled like possibility. My son worked beside me, learning the same lessons my father never taught me. about loyalty, about sacrifice, about choosing to stay when leaving would be easier. We build on what we're given, and sometimes what we're given is the truth, even if it takes 18 years to hold it. If you've ever rebuilt after betrayal, if you've ever found strength in broken places, share your story. Sometimes the strongest foundations come from the most broken ground. Sometimes staying is the bravest choice we make. And sometimes justice is just letting the truth finally speak.